joined now by my pack, Talk TV contributor Paul Arone-Adrian, the former Marine-turned-presenter and conservationist James Clancy, and political journalist Ava Santina. Right, let's talk marbles, Mr. Clancy, because you and I don't agree about this. I've had a conversion. The Greek Prime Minister actually changed my mind when he painted this picture, literally, of the Mona Lisa cut in half and said, what would you feel about that? I thought, he's right. Surely the right thing to do is to bring the two parts together. And actually, if you look at the history and you look at where they want to put it, it makes more sense that we just loan it back to them, doesn't it?
I'm not massively passionate about the marbles. I think the biggest mistake was Rishi snubbing Greek Prime. That's what's made this much bigger. Look, the major, I do agree with the government, is once you start giving back one artefact, it's like pulling the thread.
But we do give a lot of artefacts away.
We do.
We give thousands away all the time. We lend stuff to museums around the world. What's the difference?
That's the right word. We're lending things. But if you saw earlier this year the Koh-i-Noor, the diamond in the crown jewels worn by the late Queen Mother, there's now calls for that to be returned to India and thousands of other artefacts. As soon as you do one, it's going to go on and on and on.
All right, Ava, what's your response to that?
Well, maybe you should, no? I mean, what's the argument for us keeping hold of it forever? You know, if I was sitting here wearing, I don't know, one of your jackets, you'd probably ask for it back, wouldn't you?
Well, it depends how you acquired it. I mean, some of these things, if they're looted, then
so if you let me borrow it for 1 minute and I kept it forever, you might have something to say about it.
I mean, the point about the marbles, which they call the Parthenon marbles, right? Or whatever they call them. The point about them is there is a dispute over actually the original propriety, right? We know that one of our aristocrats bought it back, but that was from the Ottoman Empire at the time, who were the ruling power in Athens at the time. But that is disputed. It's not like this is clean cut anyway. No,
absolutely. And a parliamentary inquiry might have found that he had brought them back, you know, above board. But, I mean, how many times have we sat around here and disputed what a parliamentary select committee has had to say? I mean, we don't necessarily
Paula,
agree with...
let me ask you, I mean, just on a general thing, we were just saying in the break, in the general scheme of things, who gives a stuff about a bunch of marbles, right? There are wars raging, cost of living crisis, we've had a pandemic. Can't we just lend the marbles back to the Greeks? Well, I thought the Prime Minister of Greece put up a really respectful position, and he's right. We've got two halves of his great work of art sitting in different countries. They've got to come back together, and actually, they began there.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The problem is they should be returned. We know they should be returned, but we're fussing over it, and we shouldn't be fussing over it when there are more serious things to discuss.
And Rishi Sunak shouldn't be snubbing. I like Rishi, but he shouldn't be snubbing the Prime Minister of Greece. They're an ally of ours.
This is the problem, isn't it, with this meeting? Because it wasn't just about the Parthenon. It was also going to be about Ukraine. It was also going to be about what was happening in Israel and Gaza. These are really important issues. It was also going to be about, you know, the cost of living crisis in terms of oil and gas, etc. So there were issues close to the heart of many of the voters here, and he snubbed him. So not just about the Parthenons, but also very serious home issues as well.